Welcome in, college football fans. It's that time again. It's time for Between the Lines. This is the college football betting show that is brought to you by First and Long College Football Show because we don't have a sponsor, so we're sponsoring our own show on this segment. Mason, how you doing today, buddy? You feeling good about your bets? Had a good week last week at the betting window, didn't you?
Did have a good week last week. 11-3 personally, 8-3 on the show. I was riding high, and I'm going to ride this right into rivalry week. It's kind of hard to say there, but we're gonna. I'm a freight train coming through right now. So,
oh boy,
y'all just need to hop on if you're not already on. I've actually been really hot ever since we moved this show to later in the week. I'm like +6. So. I mean, do with that what you will, but I think I'm a pretty good bet right now.
Well, let me explain this show to everybody. Welcome all of you in, First and Long subscribers and just college football bettors. Welcome to our weekly betting show, and as I said, it's called Between the Lines. This is our best bets of the week. We're going to go through here on the top of the show. We're going to go through all the big matchups of the week. But then we're just going to open up the board and we're going to give you our best bets of the week. Doesn't have to be a key matchup. This is all about making money. We're just trying to make money with the show. We are personally putting our personal money on these bets. So we're basically just sharing with you guys what we're betting and pretty much just putting it all out on the record here for you. I was 5-5 last week as a disclaimer. I am a little bit over 500 for the year. I'm going to compile all those stats. I know I'm over 500 because I haven't went less than 500 in several weeks. So we got safe bets here, man. And there's opportunities to make money. There's no doubt about that. And here we go into rivalry week, week 13, best bets of the week. Here we go. Let's talk about the big games first, Mason. Let's just kind of go through these and see if we've got any plays on these jokers. How about Saturday at 12 o'clock, that Ohio State at Michigan? I believe that line is still hanging in there at 3.5. That over-under may have moved by now since we made that banner disclaimer. Do you have a play on this game, Mason? And what are your final thoughts here?
I do. I feel a lot like I did. I guess it was Monday when we did the show.
We broke this game.
Show.
All these games, the big games here that we're going to talk about first, guys, we broke these games down already. And so go to the First and Long channel, and you can go to the playlist, and you can look at CFB weekly game predictions, and you're going to see it right there. Go ahead, Mason. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I still hold steady with where I was on Monday for this game, and I'm taking Ohio State plus 3.5 over Michigan. And I've also got the total under, and I didn't write it down for some reason. What's the total on that? Was it under?
It was 46.5, but.
Oh, okay. Yep, that is what I got. I see it now. Sorry about that. So under 46.5. Look, I know historically this has been a pretty high scoring game, but you can toss that in the freaking trash because this is the best Ohio State defense we've seen since at least 2015, I would say. And this is the best Michigan defense that I think we've seen since then. So I don't think this point total is going to get in the 50s. I really like this being a low scoring game, kicking field goals, defense coming up with some stops and some turnovers, a lot of sacks, a lot of, third downs not getting converted. And I think that I think it's going to be low scoring. So I've got Ohio State at plus 3.5, and I've got the under 46.5.
Have you heard any updates on Roman Wilson in this game?
I haven't. No.
They're not going to update anything. I wouldn't either, I guess, if I didn't have to. I'm with you, Mason. I'm going to go Ohio State on this thing too. I like the 3.5. I think this is going to be a field goal game either way. I don't think this is going to be some kind of blowout. But hear me out. I think Ohio State does have an edge. I think if any team was going to blow any team out here, I think it would be Ohio State. But I don't think that's probable. With all that being said, there have been several Big Ten coaches that have played Michigan and Ohio State this year. that behind the scenes have said, if we had a playmaker at wide receiver, there were plays to be had. Well, who has the playmakers? Ohio State has got the best wide receiving core in this game. There's zero doubt in my mind about that. It's not even up for debate. Marvin Harrison, I think, is going to catch a couple of dingers. Okay. And I think Ohio State is going to surprise some people. And I just think that the outside corners, really, for both of these teams are a little bit suspect and untested. And, we had talked about how their schedules were really, really similar, and I was kind of thinking about that the other day. They are very, very similar, except for Wisconsin and Notre Dame. But instead of playing a Notre Dame, Michigan played a Bowling Green, and this Ohio State team is more battle tested. They have been gearing up for this physical approach to this football game. They have totally revamped the way they look at playing football, I feel like, this year, with the way that defense has picked it up. And I like Ohio State here, and I like the playmakers that they've got on the outside. Egbuka seems to be getting healthy. Henderson has looked as good as he's going to look, I think, this year in the past couple weeks. So give me the Ohio State Buckeyes plus 3.5, baby. Let's go through some of these other big games. Washington State at Washington. Do you have a play on that game?
I do.
Go ahead.
The Apple Cup.
The Apple Cup. And if you're watching this right now, I keep interrupting you, Mason. I'm sorry. If you're watching this right now, go subscribe. Okay. You've already just got you just got your beak wet, okay, with one of our bets there. If you like what you're hearing, go hit the subscribe button and come hang out with us. It costs you nothing, and it's a great way to support this channel. And we're just a couple of college football fans like you, after all. So help support us and come hang out with us. We'd love to have you. And anybody watching later or live, comment your best bet of the week and tell us where we're right, where we're wrong. We'd love to hear from you. We're very responsive in the comment section, and I forgot to tell everybody that at the top of the show. Carry on, Mason. This Washington Apple Cup. What you got?
Yeah, I think that what we saw from Washington State's offense is going to carry over into this week. I'm expecting this to be a really high-scoring game. Washington hasn't had the best of defenses, I would say. I'm going to stop shy of saying they're a bad defense, but they're pretty mediocre, I think.
You've done it. Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Done it now.
I know. I've opened it up.
Son of a bitch.
We're gonna have
Mason said that, not Mark.
Yeah, we're gonna have a book to read in the comment section. So, but yeah, so I do think that this is going to be a really high scoring game. That's why I like the over 68 in this game. Washington obviously is going to be able to score, but I think that Washington State can get to about 30 points or 33. And I like Washington to score about 44. Washington State played so fast, y'all. Like the over 68 is the best play, I think, in this game. But I also like Washington State at plus 16.5. I'm going to take that as well. I think that this is going to be a 2-score game. I like Washington to win it, but I think that Washington State's going to be able to score as well. So I think that they keep it, within that 16.5 points. So that's another double dipper for me. I've got Washington State at plus 16.5 and over 68.
Well, you and I were on the same side of this earlier this week, but I'm going to take up for our Washington fan base because I've had a change of heart about this thing. I preach all the time, and Washington fans hate when I talk about it, how important running the football is in college football. And I'd be remiss if I didn't share that same view with Washington State, who has zero ability or want to run the football. That secondary is going to be able to set back. I think they're going to be able to play a zone. I don't know that Cam Ward he's been so inconsistent, man. He's been so damn inconsistent. And I don't know if he's going to be accurate enough for them to even worry about playing man in this situation. I think that Washington's probably going to be able to set back, and Muhammad is going to have a big day. I think he can probably get a couple of picks in this game and fudge this thing up for real. Give me Washington minus 16.5. I've had a change of heart the more I've looked at it, and I just don't trust this Washington State team whatsoever. And I agree with some of the things that you said about the defense. I know that they've got some, it's an opportune defense. It's certainly not a lockdown defense. It's not a defense that's going to create a whole bunch of 3 and outs, right? It's a bend don't break defense, and it's a extremely good offense. And I think that this Washington offense is going to be able to pretty much just have it any way they want it. And I hope that Kalen DeBoer decides to run the football in this game for Washington, because I think that they can be successful running the football in this game. And I think it would be extremely helpful to put some runs on tape. It just, and get your run game going, because you are going to need it. But we won't get into that whole spiel here today. Give me Washington minus 16.5. I'm riding the big purple rain train. All right. Let's see. What do we have next? It's the Civil War. There's a lot of reasons to subscribe to the First and Long College Football Show, but one that you would never even think about is the history lessons that go on in the comment section. You would never even think about it, but Week 13 rivalry week, First and Long College Football Show comment section, interesting as hell. Interesting as hell. It's like that history teacher that you had that was just a little bit off the tracks, and you were just hanging on every word in social studies. We got all kinds of stuff going on. So Oregon had something to do with the Civil War, in case you didn't know, and it was multiple things, and maybe even had a kerfuffle or two out there. So do you have a play on this game, and what are your final thoughts on the Civil War?
Man, I didn't realize this, but I'm double dipping a lot here. And
he's doubling down on everything he's betting on.
Pretty much. I actually did accidentally double bet this game. I double bet the over 62 in this game by mistake. I think I
really needed to hit.
Yeah, right. I bet it, and then I thought about it. I had the same thought later, so I'm I rushed to the my site, to my bookie table, and I bet it a second time, completely forgetting I had already bet it. So there you go. So yeah, I really need the over 62 to hit. And my logic behind this is that I think that Oregon is going to be able to get me mostly there. I think that Oregon's got 40 plus in them in this game. And I think that Oregon State's going to be able to at least put up 20, as well with their rushing attack. I think that they get Martinez going. And I mentioned the play action playing off of that to Velling. I think that that's going to be kind of the way that they get going in this game. I like them to score in the upper 20s, and if that happens, then I just need Oregon to get me close to 40. So give me the over 62. And if you haven't guessed, I'm also taking the spread here. I'm going to take Oregon at minus 13.5. I just think that Oregon just probably feels like they've got a lot to prove at this point. We don't know what's going to happen this week. We don't know what's going to happen next week in conference championships. First of all, they've got to make it there. There's still a chance that they don't make it. So
right.
They have to win this game, and not rely on anybody else. Not rely on, Arizona to lose. So I think that Oregon, their mindset is we kind of need style points. We could need style points, at least is probably better said. But so I like them to run the score up, score as many as they can, and shut the door on Oregon State. I mean, they've looked like a playoff team up to this point for the most part. and I think that they'll continue that this weekend.
Yeah, I am with you on part of this. So I'm going to jump on the Oregon minus 13.5. This is, I talk about how important running the football and stopping the run. These are cornerstones of football. It just is what it is. It's been that way for over 100 years, and it's not going to change. And then another thing that decides football games is freaking matchups, dude. And Oregon State ain't going to win a matchup in this game. It's a horrible, horrible matchup for Oregon State. Not to mention, if the tank was a quarter full last week, it's empty now. It is empty now after that effort last week and played in the freezing cold rain. Give me Oregon to cover this thing. This is not a good Oregon State secondary. They rely on getting to the quarterback. Well, guess what? Bo Nix has been sacked 5 times all year. They're not going to get to the quarterback. I'm sorry. They're not going to get to him to an effective enough clip to actually affect the score of this game or the outcome. So, like I said, give me Oregon minus 13.5. I think this is easy money right here. This is my double platinum diamond play of the week. The only reason I'm not on the over is I'm concerned they get out early like they did last week or something and then lay down.
Yeah.
And put the backups in and try to stay healthy for a probable Pac-12 championship. And as Mason said, Oregon hasn't clinched their spot yet, y'all. So they have to they got to win this game. And if they were to win this game and then Arizona was to beat Arizona State, then Arizona would go to the Pac-12 championship. So there's still a couple of situations that need to be handled, and there is business that needs to be handled. I bet you a good one to probably take in this game, folks, if you're, at home thinking about taking something in this game, maybe the Oregon first half total.
Over.
Yeah. I think that's probably a smart play the more we sit here and talk about it. And that's what this show is all about, making you money. So hit the sub button. Let's make some money together. Let's keep it going, man. What other games we got here? Oh, Lord. Governor. It's the Governor's Cup. Have you seen this trophy?
I haven't.
It's like it looks like the White House of trophies. I mean, it's pretty fancy, dude. And don't get confused when you look up pictures. It's not make sure it ain't the Texas governor holding it, because they have a Governor's Cup too. So anyway, the Kentucky at Louisville, we have had a strong response online from the Louisville folks. They want this one bad. Okay, they're out for blood. This game is being talked about in Kentucky a lot, and Louisville is ready to take this trophy back. And I think they're going to be able to do it, man. I like Louisville in this game. I like Jack Plummer, these wide receivers, against that Kentucky secondary in this game. We know what Kentucky's going to do. They're going to try to load the box. Louisville is a successful run team. Jawar Jordan is obviously a very good running back. They're going to have to throw over this Kentucky defense. Everybody who's tried to do it has been successful. Ever since Georgia played Kentucky, it's been an opening of the floodgates against the secondary. I think that this is a no-brainer. I also feel really good about this one. I'm not going to say double diamond platinum. I'll just say single diamond, no platinum. How about that? Louisville minus 6.5. I feel really, really good about this one, especially with the half point there. If it gets to 7, caution. I would maybe buy it back down to 6.5 if you can. I think it'd be worth it to buy it back down just in case, man, because 7 is such a round number. You could very well push on a 7. So anyway, I'm taking the Louisville Cardinals. They have everything to play for, man. They have a playoff spot that's not exactly ironed out for them yet, but this college football season ain't over, man.
Yeah.
So there's still some dominoes to fall, and Louisville has got a chance to go win an ACC championship and possibly go to a college football playoff spot. What's your thoughts on this game? Do you have a play on this game?
I don't have a play on it. I think you're on the right side of this. Interestingly, this game did open at 7, and it's dropped to 6.5. So somebody likes Kentucky in this game. Probably some of that good old SEC pride that we see, coming into play there. A lot of bettors thinking
Quite the betting society amongst the SEC states and below in that Bible Belt.
But I like the side that you're on. Look, I don't think Kentucky's really been playing their best ball as of late. I mean, they put up 14 points against South Carolina last week, in a loss.
Hey, looky there. There's a Dogs fan, Mason.
Yeah, I appreciate
Georgia
that.
Dogs 47. Hey, best bet, Louisville versus Kentucky, the over. What was the
50.5 is the line. I don't hate that. I could see Kentucky getting to 20. So then you just need
Is this
Louisville
Eric? Is this just
30.
Eric and he changed his taking the over?
Yeah, I think so. I think it is actually.
I think this is Eric.
Threw us a curveball there.
Hey, if it is Eric, give us a thumbs up in the comment section. I don't know that it is. I was actually kidding, but now that I say that, it actually might be. But anyway, go Dogs. I was gonna say to Georgia Dogs 47. And if you have the best play of the week, put it in the comment section. Yep, it is 34-17. Okay, Eric. Thank you very much, buddy. I appreciate you.
We should have known whenever we had a commenter bet the over that it was Eric.
Well, it really dawned on me whenever I saw the E right there. I was like, okay. Okay. I feel you. I'm taking Louisville minus 6.5. I think that's a really good play. This Kentucky team, man, has just looked really bad, and I hope there's not going to be a regression to the mean here. With Louisville getting the win last week and then Kentucky looking like doo-doo. I hope there's not some kind of meeting in the middle here and Louisville win by 3. But give me the Cardinals in this one. Let's see. Bama at Auburn. Do you have any bets in the Iron Bowl that nobody is interested in? I don't feel like.
Nobody's interested in it. I've got an odd play here. I've got Alabama first half minus 7.5. I think that Alabama will be up by 10 in the first half. I think that's pretty easy, right? That's easy money.
Yeah. What was the number again? I'm sorry.
Minus 7.5.
For first half?
First half minus 7.5. I feel like I know that Alabama is a second half team, especially defensively. I know that that's where they tend to just sit on your chest, but I also feel like this offense has really gotten pretty hot, and I think that to think that they're not going to put up 21 in that first half is kind of silly, and I don't think that I really don't think that Auburn's going to be able to get to 14. So that's kind of my logic behind it, and I'm not really overthinking this. On top of that, Bama needs some style points too, kind of like Oregon. They've got one loss. They look like a playoff team,
Oh my gosh.
by the eye test. But if they obviously they have to beat Georgia, they have to win this game. But I still think that they could use some style points. That they need every bit that they can get. So
they do.
I think that they're gonna have a game plan, and you're gonna get Alabama's best. I don't think they're overlooking Auburn this week.
Who is Alabama's best win? Ole Miss.
Yeah.
24-10.
Yeah.
Alabama needs they need style points bad. The motivation is on the Bama side. Look, I've seen some asinine comments from some Alabama fans, not on our channel. And I know it's not all Alabama fans, but, I saw one last night comment, and I'm not even joking, said, well, who has Texas even played? You.
Yeah.
And beat you at your own place.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama needs this bad. There is motivation. They've got to show something. And you're right. I'm not betting anything on this game because I am a Southerner and I have seen too many wacky Iron Bowls in Auburn. Coach Hugh Freeze came out earlier this week and you can read this one of two ways. Okay. He comes out and says that, that loss is looming over us. I don't think that we're as intense as we need to be right now at practice. You can read that one of two ways. If he's being honest, then you're thinking, okay, well, this is really bad for Auburn. They're not even paying attention to this thing. But that doesn't make any sense to me, man. I think he's sandbagging. I think he's sandbagging. I think he's trying to get his team riled up. I'm not betting on this game. I'm not on the spread, especially. So I'll already be entertained watching this thing, and I hope it's a close game because these Iron Bowls, when they're close, especially at Auburn, that place will go friggin' nuts, man. They'll rattle that stadium to the ground. So with all that being said, I believe that is all of our – oh, no, we got one more big game. How dare I not talk about the Sunshine Showdown? What the
– The Sunshine?
The Sunshine Showdown. It's the charity game here. No, but for real, Saturday, 7 o'clock, Florida State -6.5 at Florida. Over-under was set at 49.5. I'm not sure what it is now. These numbers are holding in there pretty good this week. It seems like they don't seem like they're moving as much as normal. I guess at this point, Vegas has got a pretty damn good feeling on these teams. But with this game, you have to, as a bettor, get yourself in situations where Vegas doesn't know more than you do. And I don't think Vegas knows a whole lot more about either one of these quarterbacks than you or I do. We haven't seen these guys a whole lot, man. Rodemaker is the more experienced quarterback for Florida State. He has some experience. He's been around. He's been in that system a little bit. This quarterback, Brown, for Florida, he's a true freshman. So, and honestly, set his team up last week for a victory. It was the defense for Florida that blew the game against Missouri. This offense set them up for victory. They had the lead with less than a minute left and had them, the defense had them 4th and 17, and the rest is history. Missouri, that'll go down in Missouri Tigers lore. But nobody knows what to expect out of these two teams. And for that reason right there, dude, I think there's going to be a lot of feeling out going on in this game. I think Florida's defense and offense has played a whole lot better at home than they have on the road. And this game is sold out. It's going to be loud. I know there'll be some Florida State fans there, but I'm taking 2 plays in the first half here. So follow me. 10.5 total first quarter under. Okay. I could totally see this first quarter ending 0-0, 3-0, 3-3. Like, I could totally see that. It's probably going to take a second to get these quarterbacks acclimated. And then the first half under, I'm going to play that as well at 24.5 points. I think this first half is going to be low scoring, and without taking the whole under, because I think the second half could get wacky, I'm going to play that first half, and then maybe I'll revisit this game on the money line. Do you have a play on this against the spread or over under?
I do. I've got Florida at +6.5. This is another double dipper for me. Florida +6.5. So I'm with you on that one. And I've also got under 49.5. For a lot of the same reasons you mentioned, 2 new quarterbacks starting. I just think that this is going to be a field goal game kind of throughout. I like it at probably like a 27-17, something like that. If Florida State is going to win by double digits, I don't think it's by much, right? So, but I think that Florida is going to be able to keep it close and could even win this game outright. I like the way that you're thinking on this. But nonetheless, I think that both of these teams are going to be running. We know Florida is going to run. Their quarterbacks are running quarterback first anyways. So
don't you think Florida has the advantage? Aren't they the better rushing team in this matchup?
I do, but I wonder if they're going to be able to pass the ball enough to keep Florida State on their toes? Like, are they just, if Florida State loads the box, is Florida still going to be able to run the football? Probably not. I think that Florida State's got the better defensive line. So I do worry about that. They've got to take a few plays, even if if this quarterback, I'm blanking on his name right now,
Brown?
but even, is it Mac Brown? Is that what it is? Or
I don't know. I just call him
something
Brown.
like that. Is
He
it Brown?
He hasn't earned. I hadn't learned his first name yet.
Yeah.
We
We just broke this down on Friday, and I can't, or on Monday, and I can't remember his name.
Well, I mean, here's the deal. I barely knew you, kid. So
yeah, I know, right?
You're gonna have to play good this Saturday, and everybody will know your name. How about that?
But if he throws 20 times in this game, that I think that he's successful enough to get the ground game going. But he's got to throw the football some, right? So that's kind of my thought behind it. I don't know. Either way, even if Florida doesn't score, I still like the under, right? I mean, that just boosts, my thought there as well. So
yeah,
I think the under 49.5 is pretty good.
Yeah, I think so too. And that's why I said I'm playing first quarter and first half unders. I'm not even playing the spread here because I'm going to revisit this game in the money line section. So let's keep it going here. We are going to open the board up. Do you have any plays outside of the big games of the week?
I got a few. You just kind of took my lunch there, but I got a few. I got some dessert for you. So I'm going to start with the Egg Bowl. I don't necessarily agree with having egg for dessert, but I'm going to start with the Egg Bowl here. And I've got Ole Miss minus 11.5 over Mississippi State. Pretty simple play here, right? Mississippi State's been hot garbage lately. They just announced that they're firing their head coach, and I don't feel like, and this kind of goes against what I would normally say because the Egg Bowl gets really freaking weird a lot of times. So, I think like naturally Ole Miss should win this game by 2 touchdowns, but this game is notorious for being a little bit weird. So buyer beware. But I think statistically, Ole Miss should be able to win this pretty handedly by at least 12 points. So I've also got the Ole Miss team total over 33.5. That's just not a lot of points to me. I think that pretty simply put, I feel like this Ole Miss team is going to be able to score a bunch of points. Mississippi State's defense is not going to be able to stop Ole Miss, and I think that they put up at least 40 in this game.
Yeah, I really like those plays. I am with you. So I bet this last night, right? And Ole Miss was a 10-point favorite, and so you're saying they're what? 11.5.
Well,
now?
I bet this on Monday, so it's probably been going the other way, which is odd.
So your numbers were from Monday?
Yeah.
All right. So last I saw, this game was at 10. I don't have my Bet Now app pulled open. Not a sponsor. I'm with you. Why in the world is this 10? Because it's a rivalry game? Because it's the Egg Bowl? Give me a break, man. This is the worst Mississippi State team that we've seen in a long time. They're head coachless. They're not good at anything. They have no offensive identity. Now, Ole Miss doesn't have a great defense. So I guess I kind of understand in that aspect. But, man, Ole Miss, you should look at how many points they average playing at Mississippi State over the last few years. I mean, it's absolutely insane. They're averaging right at around 50 points scored there. This is going to be a high-scoring game, I think. And I like – if it's going to be high-scoring, who do you want in this game? I mean, I'm taking Jackson Dart. I'm taking Lane Kiffin. And this rivalry is not lost on Lane, okay? He knows what this rivalry means. He definitely does. Everybody keeps talking about him going to A&M and stuff. I don't think that's what's going to happen. Why would he leave there to go to A&M? I don't really see that. But I think he's there to stay, and I think he is there to prove a point this weekend. So they ride out to Stark Vegas and take care of the Mississippi State Bulldogs. What you got next?
I'm going to start with Friday. I'll get my last Friday bet out of the way. I've got Missouri at -7.5 over Arkansas. And, again, historically, this game's been kind of weird and has been, kind of a close game. But I just feel like Missouri is way too good. They really have a lot to play for in this game to me because if they can win this game, they might be going to a New Year's Six bowl, and it'd be their first possibly ever. I don't remember the last time Missouri was in a freaking New Year's Six bowl. Maybe back when they first joined the SEC, where they won the East a couple times. But this is as good as we've seen Missouri in quite some time. So I think that they're going to be looking to win and win big against Arkansas, and a team that's fighting for their head coach. In Arkansas, they also have a lot to play for, I think, but. I think that Missouri is a little bit too powerful in this one. I don't think that Arkansas is going to be able to score against this Missouri defense quite a bit. So,
yeah, Missouri there too. I'm not playing that game. I really did think about it a good bit. Missouri is just way, 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 way better. Shouldn't be a problem, I don't think, covering that one. Let me see here. I forgot to say, too, that I'm going Ole Miss over team total 33.5. I'm going to jump on that with you as well. I forgot to say that one. And this is actually my last play of the week here that I've got. So I'm going to run through it real quick. And this seems like common sense to me. Colorado goes to Utah, and Utah is only a 22-point favorite in that game. I think Utah is about to unload some last frustrations for the season on Colorado. Colorado looked like a dead fish on the bank last week, and it was barely floundering, and it was already starting to stink. So, and my dumbass decided to play them. So this week, I'm getting my retribution through Utah Utes, and they're going to punish them on the lines. This Colorado offensive line is hot dog water. Mm-hmm. It is so bad. Meanwhile, Colorado just lost a big-time offensive line recruit, by the way. So I'm taking Utah -22, and then I'm taking the total under 52. I don't think Colorado scores in this game, and I don't think that Shedeur Sanders is even going to be playing in this game.
Yeah.
So give me both of those plays there. I locked these in last night. Colorado is dead in the water because you know why? They ain't got no football coach, man. As Uncle Lou put it on his show here on YouTube, he's a team mom. Gold whistle is all he is. And that's exactly what they got going on in Colorado. So I'm fading the Colorado Buffs. What you got?
I like that play. I just have too many on the board. I've got 15 plays this week. So
wow.
It better be good. That's all I can say. If I slide this week, it's going to be tough to get back on camera. I'll tell you that much. All right. So
run us through these bad boys.
So I missed this one earlier. So I had the Missouri -7.5 over Arkansas. For some reason, I had the team total in my Saturday notes. So excuse me on that. But I've got the Missouri team total over 31.5. Missouri this season, they like to be in the mid 30s. I mean, I think they've only scored more than 40 once, but they're pretty consistently scoring 33, 34, 36, 38, 39. Like that's where they like to be. And I don't think that this Arkansas poses a bigger threat than a lot of the teams that they've scored that much against. So the team total over 31.5 is one that I'm playing. Also, LSU team total over 39.5 against Texas A&M. I know Texas A&M has a good defense, and they don't give up 40 points. I think they've only done it once this year. So I understand that, but they also haven't faced a passing attack like LSU's. So I I feel like this is the best offense they've faced all year. They already gave up 40 to one other team, and I think that they're going to do it again. And that was Miami was the team that scored more than 40 against them. So I feel like LSU is going to be able to do it. Also, they're trying to get Malik Neighbors the most yards in school history, or it might even be SEC history. I think he needs like 127 yards. So they're going to be trying to pad his stats, right?
They're
And
trying
then
to pad
on
all their
top of
players'
that,
stats. Good Lord.
they're trying to pad Jaden Daniels' stats. He's in the Heisman hunt. So I think that they're going to be able to score some points this week, and they're going to be taking shots for sure all the way through that game. You saw what they did to poor old Georgia State. They're not gonna be afraid to put up 50 on Texas A&M. Who's coachless right now. So, and then also, I got to go to the backyard here. We just down the street, good old fashioned hate. We've got UGA versus Georgia Tech. I don't like the spread in this. I think it was like 20. Was it 24.5? If I'm not mistaken.
Big line.
That's a big line. Georgia hasn't. Yeah, it is at 20. It's open at 23.5. It's at 24.5 right now. 64% of the bets are going towards Georgia. I'm staying away from that. I actually like Georgia Tech on that side, but I'm going to go with the total 60.5. That's a lot of freaking points, man. And I know Georgia Tech doesn't have much of a defense, but
they don't.
But Kirby and company is not looking to run the score up. They don't care about that. Like, stay healthy. Let's go play in the SEC championship game, and let's get this win and get out of Atlanta. It's a night game in Atlanta, so I think that the Georgia Tech crowd will be in it. But if Georgia gets to 45 points, they're going to park the bus, and I don't see Tech getting to 17. In this game. I think Georgia's defense is playing much better than it was, earlier in the year where they gave up like 21 points to UAB or whatever it was. So I feel like Tech, again, we already know that they're going to score on the first drive. It's probably going to be a touchdown. So we already know that. But I think that Georgia is going to be able to sit on them late, and I don't think Tech scores more than 13 points in this game. So for that, I think that Georgia gets to 40. It's going to be like a 40 or 42 to 13 type of game is kind of what I'm projecting. So 60.5 is just a lot of points, man. For a Georgia game, at least, I got to go under on that one. And that empties the chamber for me.
Nice. All right. Let's get to our money line picks real quick. We forgot to do these last week. And of course, the week that we forget to do them, I hit mine. I had played South Carolina on the money line last week against Kentucky, and South Carolina won. And that's another reason, Louisville and Kentucky folks, not to bet on Kentucky. Any team that loses to South Carolina, can't bet on you. Sorry, can't do it. South Carolina's horrible this year. So bad their coach kicked something and broke his foot.
Yeah.
And has been in a cast. I mean, that goofy bastard. On my money line pick for the week, I'm taking the Florida Gators, man. I think the Florida Gators have got an advantage running the football in this game. I think they're going to be able to do it. They've got a running quarterback now. They haven't had that all year. I think they're going to be able to scheme that. And I think it's going to be, come to the demise of the Florida State man this weekend. Give me the Florida Gators plus 200 on the money line. Good return on a bet there. I've already placed this bet. What is your thoughts on the money line situation this week? Who is the best play on the board money line?
Man, it's tough. I really like the Florida play. I think that has the best value for a game that is very winnable for Florida. I think, especially given the quarterback situation in that game. I got to go to the game, and I'm going to take Ohio State on the money line. I do think that they win this game. I think it's close on either side. I think it's within a field goal. So that's why I really like Ohio State at plus 3.5, because if you get that hook, I mean, if you're just going to give it to me, I'm going to take it. But for my money line play of the week, I'm going to go with Ohio State. I'm not going to overthink this. I tried to find something with a little bit more value. It's at plus 145. It's just nothing really that tickles my fancy in this one. So I'm going to stick with that.
Yeah. Yep. Let's get to some comments. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. If you're not subscribed at this point, please go ahead and do so. That way, whenever we've got content coming available. We do this betting show every week, and we also do game predictions, breakdowns through the week, and we're going to have just a regular old, topical podcast style college football meetup whenever the season's over here. So we're just getting started here at First and Long College Football, and we want you to be part of it. So please subscribe and like the video. It's the easiest way to support this channel and support your fellow college football brethren, which is us. Georgia Dogs 47, Maryland -1 over Rutgers. Thoughts? So while you were talking, Mason, I kind of pulled up this game, and the spread is -1 to Maryland side. It opened at -2, and the over-unders at 44.5. It had originally opened 45.5. So trending, the over-under is trending down, and the spread is narrowing. Wouldn't be surprised if this game is a pick 'em by the end. And the reason I say that is Rutgers on the money line is even money right now.
Yeah.
So they're telling you that there is a good shot that if Rutgers is going to cover, they're going to win. And so if I'm betting that game, I would just go ahead and take the even money on the money line for the Rutgers. So don't worry about that point. I would go ahead and take it while it's even, because I'm going to tell you what's probably going to happen. It's probably going to turn to a pick 'em tomorrow, and then it's going to be -110 for each team on the money line. So
yeah,
you're going to get better value probably if you go ahead and bet that now.
It sounds like, though, by the way he's talking, because he's also asking about the over-under, that he has to play either the spread or the over-under. Like a lot of these, a lot of people have these like company pick'ems, and these pools, these big player pools, and they can't bet the money line. So I think he's asking which one will we take, the over-under or the spread there. And I think for me, I like Maryland and the points in this one based on the model. When I say the model, I mean college football nerds. They have a simulator that I like to use sometimes when I'm making bets. It gives me good. This isn't a plug or anything, but it gives me a good idea of what to expect based on the statistics. But based on that, it's got it 20.6 points for Rutgers and 24.2 points for Maryland is the score prediction there. So you're looking at an extra field goal, towards Maryland if you're getting it in at Maryland minus a point. That's pretty good value to me. 3 points. I like that.
Yeah. Look, Rutgers has lost their last 3 games. They've scored a total of 22 points in those games. But think about this. They've played at Penn State, at Iowa, and Ohio State in those 3 games.
Yeah.
There's going to be snapback on this line and everything. So give me Rutgers. I like Rutgers. And the total, that's a low total. I'm taking the over on that. And Eric, I think you'll be happy to hear that, Eric, over here. I'm taking the over on that. Look, Rutgers is not a bad team. They just have ran into some serious competition over the last few weeks that nobody was expecting them to win these games. I mean, and they didn't. So I'm not fading what I've already thought about Rutgers, who before that had put up 31 on Indiana, 27 on Michigan State. They've put up 52 in a game this year. I like the Rutgers here. I like the over.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
I think,
and not to mention, I will say this: Maryland has a decent run defense. Okay, and that's Rutgers likes to run the football. Okay, so that is one thought though, that may contradict kind of what I'm saying.
yeah, I
But
I don't know. That Maryland team gave up 51 to Penn State. A good
yeah,
rushing team as well. Um, they held Nebraska to 10, but I think that
that's a
Rutgers is a little
bad
bit better
offense.
than.
Nebraska's so bad.
Yeah, I would say that. Would you say that Northwestern has a better or worse offense than Rutgers?
Well, didn't they play?
Um, I don't
Maybe they
think.
didn't.
No, they didn't. But I mean, I would think that
Yeah, they did. They
Northwestern.
played, and that was the first week of the year,
Oh, okay.
and they beat Northwestern 24-7.
I'm looking at the last 10. I
But
mean,
Northwestern ain't the same football team they were at
no.
the beginning of the year, though. So
Yeah,
I
I
don't know
agree.
that.
But I
Yeah,
think that Rutgers is slightly better. And somewhat recently, 4 weeks ago, Northwestern put up 33 on Maryland. So I think that the safer play would be the over on the
yeah.
total. Maryland's got some holes on defense. They just gave up 31 to Michigan. Um, not all of that was defensive points that they gave up, but Michigan's
That's
not a very good offense either. I think personally, they gave up 37 to Ohio State, 27 to Illinois. I don't want to go too far back, but more recently, I mean, 51 to Penn State, and Penn State's the worst out of Michigan and Ohio State and Penn State. That's the worst offense of the three. So
I'll
I
tell
think
you
that,
too, Eric. Check the weather for those games up there. You always want to check and see if there's a 15 mile per hour or more wind, especially a cross breeze. You
yeah,
gotta take that into account when you're
looks like
talking
it's
about.
about 5 miles per hour.
That's nothing
And
for up there.
cloudy, sunny, and then cloudy. So not
That's
too bad.
nothing. Over.
Yep.
Over. Well, guys, that's all we've got for today. I want to thank everybody again for tuning in. We appreciate it so much. The channel is growing. We're bringing in more and more college football fans to come and talk to us. People from all across the country, y'all. And the comment section has been popping. So to everybody who subscribed and liked the videos, we certainly do appreciate that. And it's not lost on us that you couldn't just go get your news and college football stuff from somewhere else. And we're honored and privileged that you're coming to do that here on the First and Long College Football Show channel. We're so happy to have you. And I want to tell everybody to have a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy. It's the season of thanks and giving. And I want to tell you thank you. And I want to give you the opportunity to subscribe right now. There you go. There's Thanksgiving for you. But I want everybody to enjoy your time with your family, and let's go enjoy some really good football. Got some on Thursday, all day Friday, all day Saturday. Let's go. For the First and Long College Football Show, this has been Between the Lines. I'm Marcus. That's Mason signing out. Have a great day.
Thanks. Have a good Thanksgiving, y'all.